Hi guys, welcome back to Mind of Crime. I want to talk about something which is just a little bit closer to my own when I say my own it's not my own personal experience, something I know a little bit about. But I want to start off by showing you a video. It's only a short one of Portland in Oregon, obviously in the United States, of an area run by progressives, and increasingly, over the years, it's become more and more progressive and more and more. And one of the things on the hard left, progressives, as they like to call themselves, agenda is legalize all drugs. So this lovely little experiment of theirs, they did it in Portland, Oregon. Okay, so about 15 years ago, Portland, Oregon's always been quite a liberal place, like a liberal hippie place, but it was, old school liberals who still believed in law and order. Still, they still believed in an element of wanting to do things within a certain framework and structure. But as I said, over the years, they voted their way into this, basically. So the video itself is called Downtown Portland is the New Skid Row. A progressive experiment that has gone colossally bad. So let's just play this for a moment. Let's just do this.
Good morning from the beautiful city of Portland, Oregon.
These are images and video from an army of citizen journalists.
This is about 2 years ago, by the way, I think, or maybe 18 months.
In Portland who have been documenting a city in decline. Public drug abuse, addicts sprawled on the sidewalks or wandering the streets. Tent encampments on many street corners, and fires seen burning along the roadways. What used to be one of America's most beautiful and livable cities is being slowly destroyed by epidemic levels of crime, drug abuse, homelessness, and mental illness. One local is called Portland an open-air insane asylum. We went to one of Portland's many tent encampments with drug and alcohol counselor Kevin Dahlgren, who's trying to help the city's addicts. Many of the tents you see here are supplied by Multnomah County. Dahlgren believes at least some officials are okay with what's happened to the city.
There you go. I'm going to carry it on in a second, but this is the crux of the matter, or the crux, so to say. Progressives, the left, the hard left, like the Greens, don't believe there's anything wrong in what has just been said there. They don't believe there's anything wrong in people being homeless and addicted to drugs and committing crime because of their addiction. This for some people is absolutely fine.
How could they not be okay with it for as long as this has gone on? Right? Every day we walk past these camps, we see people languishing and dying on the streets. That is not okay. Every year we say this is a state of emergency, right? But who here is treating it like a true state of emergency?
Dahlgren says activists actually put up empty tents to attract more tents.
That is a common practice, to erect tents to invite homeless to be homeless, right? And that makes our...
Can you get that logic? Actually encourage and invite homeless people to be homeless, to have more homeless. Can you get that logic?
Job now 10 times harder. They will just erect the tents in hopes that a person will find the tent and move inside.
During our time with Dahlgren, he met one homeless man who said he was given a bus ticket to Portland by the city of Billings, Montana. Portland has become a mecca for addicts and drug dealers who have migrated here from across the country to take advantage of weak drug laws. It's also attracted drug cartels. There were 11 drug overdoses on March 31st alone, and one pill of fentanyl can cost as little as $1.
I feel like we've invited people to come to our city to kill themselves.
A Portland photographer.
Wow. We've invited people to come to our city to kill themselves. Now, I've listened to other videos where you've got parents talking about walking their children to school, and they are stepping over dead bodies in the streets. That's also going on in California as well, where they're also very liberal with their drug laws. This is a first world country, and children are walking to school and stepping over dead bodies. Let that sink in. And that is, by the way, on a daily basis. Okay, that's not occasionally they do it. Children are stepping over dead bodies, walking to school on a daily basis.
Who goes by the street name of Michelle Ghost has been capturing the decline of the city through her lens.
We're giving them the tools that they need to stay alive just long enough to end up dying on our streets.
After rioting over George Floyd's death resulted in the destruction of large parts of Portland in 2020, Mayor Ted Wheeler thanked the rioters before he was hit with tear gas. Things got worse for the city when Oregon voters approved Measure 110. It decriminalized possession of small amounts of drugs, making it a healthcare issue and not a crime. Police officials say it's led to a huge increase in the amount of drugs on the streets, which has led to a surge in crime. It wasn't always like this.
Portland, Oregon, one of the nation's most beautiful cities. The citizens of Portland attend many fine churches. It is a family town, a good place to bring up children.
In Portland today, a viral video shows a man using drugs in front of a child. Just last week, a man beat someone with a golf club in front of this Portland restaurant. The nervous owners then offered the attacker hot coffee, which he dumped on the victim. 79% of businesses surveyed in Portland have been victims of vandalism or break-ins. 19% have been vandalized at least 5 times.
And this all starts from legalizing drugs.
Our business has been vandalized over half a dozen times. We've had 5 burglaries in our business. We've had over $100,000 worth of impact.
Walmart and Cracker Barrel are part of a wave of businesses that have fled the city. More than 2,600 downtown businesses have left.
I'm very frustrated with what's going on.
Tech company owner Gabe Johnson is also looking to relocate.
By us continuing to keep our business in the Multnomah County and the Portland city limits, we are giving money to the problem. And so we're going to move.
Portland's social experiment, this progressive experiment, has gone colossally bad.
Jeff and Angela are Portland business owners and community reporters with PDX Real.
I can't stress it enough. It has impacted everything from our banks are being broken into, ATMs are being stolen. We have people that are just going to work, walking in their neighborhood, being assaulted.
It's like it's in some sort of like controlled demolition, really. And when I say that, it's because a lot of this stuff comes from policy.
Lax laws against car theft have made stealing cars a growth industry in Portland. 1 out of every 2 police stops in the city involves a stolen car. We went to one of Portland's former CHOP sites with Nick Haas, the founder of Guardians Theft Recovery, a community-based group that has helped recover more than 7.
I just moved my mic a bit closer to my laptop because I just thought, oh, I hope you can hear all this. I mean, what are your thoughts? This is all. I mean, the reason why they did this is what Portland used to look like. This was what they're saying is this was Portland before we had progressive idiots legalizing every goddamn drug you can get your hands on. That's what they were trying to point out. Anyway, we shall carry on.
700 stolen vehicles.
This is the site of the Midway CHOP operation. The Midway CHOP operated for about 6 to 9 months, and our crew estimates about 250 to 300 stolen vehicles were illegally processed and cut up into pieces at this site. And they knew that there was basically catch and release. If you got caught with a stolen vehicle, you're going to get booked, you're going to get held for about 48 hours, you're going to get put back out on the street. So it kind of became like a candy land for them.
Critics call Portland the poster child for what happens when progressive policy goes too far. Portland officials are now conducting tent sweeps to clean up the city, and some believe Portland may be turning the corner. But drug abuse, homelessness, and crime remain high.
Imagine, absent some of the decay we've seen, what a great place it could be to live.
MC Street Truth is the alias of a Portland businessman who co-founded the Coalition to Save Portland with Gabe Johnson.
I remember when we used to celebrate the idea that Portland's weird. This is kind of how it is. It's weird, it's quirky. It's not funny anymore. We'd like to go back to where Portland was just weird. Now it's scary.
One writer...
Yes, so I was listening to an interview with a guy that was born in Portland and raised there. He's since moved on, grown up and moved on for, lives elsewhere. But his sister still lives he's a journalist, and his sister still lives there. And what he said was, it used to just be a liberal, happy-clappy, liberal, hippie kind of place. Everybody was just a little bit hippie. But as I said, it was always within the construct of frameworks, within procedures. Nobody wanted to defund the police. Nobody wanted to legalize crime. Nobody wanted to legalize drugs. This is all the new hard left. It's not the old liberals, is what I'm trying to say.
Asked, how long does it take for a city to die? Dale Hurd, CBN News, Portland.
Okay, so that was that video I wanted to show you. So that gives you, let me just change this up, see if I can. Nope, I'm getting rid of myself there. Right, so that gives you an example of a city that has gone down the road of legalising drugs, which is what the Green Party want to do. Okay, they want to legalise all drugs, fentanyl, heroin, you name it. There's probably, I don't know about I don't know all the names of the drugs because I'm not obviously clearly a drug addict. But so I wanted to give you that overview. But I also wanted to talk to you, and I get this. This is not something I like talking about, but I believe with the result this week that's happened, people like myself do need to talk up just a little bit more. So this is something that is personal. When I say personal to me, as in I've had experience. Okay. As in, I don't have experience with being a drug addict. It's not me. Okay. So you get these politicians banging on about, these so-called politicians, head of parties, whatever. You get these parties banging on about the Greens, progressive parties, banging on about legalising all drugs, right? And they'll come out with all of the reasons why. They've got all of their reasons as to why you should do that, and it's all going to be happy-clappy. We're all going to be happy-clappy, okay? Well, Portland, Oregon isn't. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you. So that's at a macro level. I'm going to talk to you now to micro level, my level, okay? So I was dating... and I wouldn't say living with, but we spent a lot of time in the same space, a drug addict. Now, this is not me here. I'm not about to boo-hoo whine that I dated a drug addict. My choice. I did it. That's my choice. I'm not here to boo-hoo and whine about that, okay? So I don't need any comments about, well, you chose to do that. I did, yes, okay? But... It doesn't, you don't sit there and choose, I need to explain this. You don't sit there and choose to date a drug addict, right? They don't come up to you and say, hi, I'm a fully fledged, fully blown drug addict. Do you want to go out with me? That's not how it happens, okay? To begin with, I can only talk, I say they, he, and I would suspect a lot of people do this, okay? they hide it from you. He hid it from me. He's a tradesman. He works with his hands within construction. So he works for himself. So he would also work away a lot. So he would work on projects that were in different parts of the country. He'd go where the work was, basically, as well. So he could hide it. So for a long time, I knew probably that he dabbled. I knew he dabbled, but I thought he did it recreationally, just as a bit of fun. He was working a full-time job. He was self-employed. He was fully functioning. There was, I didn't know anything about anything really at that point about the psychology of drug users, okay? So it's something that you gradually, inch by inch, a little by little, you start to see, oh, I'm dealing with, like, this isn't what I thought it was. This is not what I thought it was. And they hide it from you for a long time. And it's only when they feel more confident that they start to really then bring it out even more and show just a little bit more, and then show just a little bit more, until all of a sudden you realise you're dealing with a drug addict. But by that point, you're quite far into the relationship and you want to help them. I spent a lot of time trying to help him. Now, anybody ever tells you, the problem is this country, we don't help drug addicts, there's no help. There's loads of help. I've checked into it. I've looked. I've phoned places. There's a lot of help out there for drug addicts that we, the taxpayer, pay for. There's a lot of help for free. Now, how perfect that help is, I don't know, because he would never take up that help, okay? He could always do it himself. He always wanted to stop and he could always do it himself. The reality is he never wanted to really stop. And even as I've learned myself through experience, even if you were to offer them priory level drug help, it still doesn't mean that they stop. You could offer them the same help that celebrities spend hundreds of thousands of pounds going to these drug rehab places. You could offer them that level of help. But unless they want to stop themselves, they won't stop. 90% of stopping drugs is up to the individual. 10% is the support. Now, the other thing that I learned is how incredibly difficult it is to get off drugs when you're a full-blown drug addict. And I would say the chances, if you're a full-blown drug addict, the chances are very small of you getting off drugs. You might be able to stop it for a while. You might be able to stop it for 12 months. You might be able to stop it for 2 years. But the likelihood is you will relapse. You will have a relapse. That is the likelihood. It's a very small percentage that actually finally manage to get themselves off drugs. Okay, so if you come across somebody who's properly got themselves off drugs and has been clean for years and years, that is an extremely strong person that has done that. That is a person that's in the minority of people doing this stuff. Okay. Now that being the other case in point, once you are a drug addict, once you're addicted to these drugs, then the likelihood is you're going to be addicted for life. Okay. Now, okay, so there's this other debate that's going on. Oh, well, some drugs are okay to legalise, marijuana for etc. The green stuff, the greens. Let me tell you, he started off smoking weed every day. I wasn't with him at this point, by the way. This was before me. He was smoking weed every day. And then that just got, I think, a little bit too. He didn't want to do it anymore. Weed smells. It's a bit stinky. It makes you a bit lethargic. He didn't want to do it anymore. So he thought he'd try something else. And then bam, that's it. Now, this is how I see it from my years of experience. There's two types of people in this world, basically. There's the types that can try drugs, they can pick them up and put them down. They could do it one weekend and they couldn't care less whether they did it for another 6 months. If it was 6 months before they did it again, 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, they don't care. They had that little bit of fun. They've got, that's it. They can pick it up, what I call pick it up, and they can put it down. Okay? And then there is another type that as soon as they take that drug, bam, that's it. They're addicted. Then they're taking it every weekend. Then they're starting to take it during the week. Then they're taking it every day. Then their job goes to hell. Then all their relationships go to hell. There's two paths as I see it, right? But the problem is you don't know which one you are until you try drugs. And it's only then you know which one you're going to be. So you're better off not taking it in the first place because you don't know which path you're going to go down. Okay? So let me tell you, you are then the destruction that it all causes. Okay? Let's just not even talk about the physical destruction it causes to your body, but the levels of destruction it causes to relationships, it causes to children, not my children. He's nothing that was, he had his own with somebody else, so completely separate to me, but he had trouble forming relationships because he was always doing drugs. He was always slinking off, hiding away, going on a binge session, guaranteed missing every week, 3 days a week of work. Yes, he was self-employed, so he could do it. But I honestly believe that if it wasn't for the fact that he did have some financial commitments, he probably would have descended into no day work a week at all. They become extremely devious. They lie. They cheat. Well, I'm sure would. They cheat at things. Whether he cheated on me, I don't know. I'm not talking about that. But they will steal. They're selfish. They are the most incredibly selfish individuals that you will ever meet. And they will do everything and anything to get what they want when they want it. It's all drugs. The only thing, he literally told me, the only thing that he can think of, nothing else, is getting somewhere, getting the drugs and doing the drugs. It's like he had to do it. He had to do it. We're talking now, we've been split up over 2 years, but so this isn't like last week, but it's it's not exactly, this is 15 years ago. I've lived with this. I've lived with a drug addict. I've seen the destruction that it causes to their work, the relationships. And then on top of that, after we'd split up, he ended up having to have a heart operation because he damaged his heart so badly with the drugs, which he knew, by the way, he was going to do. He was doing, basically. He knew. I actually said to him several times, you're going to have a heart attack and die. So even he would have massive pains in his heart, and he knew that going on a session would bring on all of these heart pains. He knew it, but he would still do it anyway, right? So you tell me how it benefited him to have access to drugs, because he used to have to go around hunting and looking for it, okay? So it wasn't easy to do. Like if you legalize drugs, right? What would stop a drug addict like that than going, right, this weekend I'm now going to try this drug and this drug and this drug and this drug because I'll just go down the shop and buy it. Anybody that tells you it's fine to legalize drugs, go tell them to live with a drug addict. Go tell them to actually live with one. Not for a few days, not for a week, not for 2 weeks, not for a month, not for a year, but for, let's say, 3, 4, 5 years. Go tell them to live with one. And then come back and tell me that legalizing drugs is the best thing to do ever. That it's going to help us, that it's going to help everybody, that it's going to help our economy, and that it's going to make for great relationships. That it's going to do the kids just fine. You come back and tell me that. Live with one. Zach Polanski, or whatever your name is, David. Go live with a drug addict for 3 years and then come back and tell me it's absolutely fine. Because I can guarantee you he's never done that. I can tell you he's never done that. And why you have Muslims, I'm going to be honest, voting for the Greens to legalise drugs is nuts. 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 Where does it say in either Christianity or Islam that it's fine to take every single drug going in every orifice going? It doesn't. It doesn't. So why are you voting for this? Because you're voting for destruction. You're voting for destruction on every level. On every level. And you're voting to make a society of extremely selfish liars, extremely selfish thieves and cheats, extremely selfish absentee fathers. I mean, go live with a drug addict and then come back and tell me it's fine to legalise drugs. Go do it, is what I say. Because if you have done it or you want to do it, you won't come back and tell me it's fine. And that's all I've got to say on the matter. And thank you for listening to my rant. I just had to do it. I'm sorry. I'm just like, go live with a drug addict and then come back and tell me, legalise every drug going. But thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, and please like and subscribe. Bye-bye.